Hi guys, welcome to Complex Life Simple Rules. My name is Arun Kumar, and today we will talk about the luxury of negative thoughts and power of your imagination. Do you know negative thoughts has its own luxury? And if you have one, you want more. It's like a junk food. If you try it once, you want more. Unless you get tired of those extra calories and you start feeling bad about those negative thoughts and those extra junk food calories. So why did I say that negative thoughts has its own luxury? Reason being, when you have one negative thoughts, you always think more negative about that condition or situation. You develop a mindset that your frame of thinking become more negative about that. And what happens next? Whatever thought next come into your mind, that won't be positive thought unless you enforce the positive thought. Enforce the positive thought means you distract your negative thought with the positive thought. That's called as enforce positive thought. When you have one negative thought, you start feeling little down about that situation, and then you have a next thought that I cannot do this. Say, let us suppose I'll take the example of I cannot do this, and I cannot do this. Start with the next sentence, and the sentence would say I'm not worthwhile. Means I have no value. People around me don't like me. And when you have this negative thought, you start getting more and more negative thoughts. And one point in time, you're exhausted. You'd have not enough energy to distract your thought process or enforce the positive thought. So when you have a first point in time, when you have a negative thought, always stop that right there. And there are 4 tips I will give you. Number 1, when you have a negative thought, always have imaginary stop or pause in your mind. And when you use this imaginary pause and stop for some time, you can distract your mind. Number 2, always go and read your favorite book or listen your favorite music. This is the best way to distract your mind with those negative thoughts. Number 3, talk to your friend or your relatives who you trust could be a good advisor in your life, and talk to them. They may have some positive thought about that incident, and that's why we always say that when we have anything negative, we should always talk to people, and that all talk to people of the group, because everybody has his own perspective about some incidents and situation or whatever you have in your life going on right now. And the last thing, what I always try, number 4, I always say that always end your negative thought with the positive statement. I repeat itself, always and your negative thought or negative statement with positive statement. Let us suppose you say I can't do anything, I cannot do this. Think about all your success in your life and think about all the difficult situations you saw in your life, and you get through it. And I trust you that you have some of the situations where you really did very great. You are not complete failure. So you think about those positive thoughts and always end your negative statements with those positive thoughts. Now we will talk about the power of your imagination. Imagination is one of the best tools provided to us by nature or by God. Problem is that we always forget to use this tool. I'll tell you a beautiful story about a wise man. He was a professor or teacher during World War II. He was in concentration camp, and so many people were dying around him. This guy used his power of imagination, and he imagined his life perfectly. He imagined that he's eating a delicious meal with his beautiful family in his beautiful house in United States. There is no hope around him at this time, but this guy used his imagination, his power of his imagination, and see that picture perfectly, vividly. And one point in time, he managed to escape from that prison. Anyhow, he ended up in United States, met a beautiful girl, he got a very good job, and finally he bought a beautiful house. He got a beautiful family, and one fine day, exactly what he has imagined, now he is enjoying his delicious meal with his beautiful family in his beautiful house in United States. How could it happen? It's not the situation in this person's life. This is everywhere. This is around us. This is the power of imagination we can utilize. But we fail to utilize that because we engrave too much in our own problems or our negative thoughts that we could not see the power what we have today. You can use this power of imagination to see your future. If you are a student and you want to a perfect job, just imagine that. Make this imagination as vivid as possible so that really you see that you are in that condition. You have that. You already achieved that success. If you have your near and dear is sick due to this COVID pandemic, imagine a perfect picture that your near and dear is perfectly well and is enjoying his life. You can use this imagination anywhere, anytime. But one thing, always make sure when you imagine this picture, put your fear aside. Because fear always interfere in our imagination. We want to see the perfect image, perfect picture. But our fear says you can do it. Your negative thought can say that you cannot do it. And that's why we always control our fear and our negative thoughts and use our imagination. So today we learned two things. One is, when you have negative thought, what should you do to distract that? And you should distract your negative thoughts to get in positive frame of your mind. And second thing, in any situation, you can use imagination of your power of your imagination and change your life. If you have any suggestions for this video, or you have observed something like that in your life, like you had negative thoughts and then you get more negative thoughts, or you imagine something so perfectly and you see that happening in your life, please comment. And if you have any question for me, let me know. I will try my best to answer those. Thank you.